Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Alpha. This video and this entire YouTube channel is devoted to talking about healing. I have knowledge, I have experience on the subject, so why not talk about it more to give you guys better understanding, the knowledge, the tools, the wisdom to help you live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. In this video, I will be talking about emotions, the dreaded emotions. Why do we have them? Where do they come from? And how to properly use them? Well, as you may be aware, all humans have emotions. No one is exempt from displaying, feeling, or showing emotions. In fact, all living things have emotions. Emotions, they exist in various forms and intensities. Emotions sometimes are very subtle, other times they are very intense. We have different types of emotions such as happiness, sadness, excitedness, anxiousness, depression, gratefulness, appreciation, and so on. No matter what type the emotion, all emotions come from the same place, and that is you. You are the source, you are the giver, you are the lender, you are the creator of every emotion that you have. And that is contrary to popular belief. A lot of us believe that our emotions are the result of external factors. But I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not the case. Even if you are happy or if you are extremely sad or depressed, these emotions are not the result of external factors. And I'll give you a quick example using myself, illustrating this point. Well, the other day I was at a stoplight, and in front of me there was a car, and in the car there was a couple. They appeared to be young, and while at the red light, they were taking selfies of each other. Well, the light turns green, and they continue taking selfies with each other. Now, surely this circumstance could have elicited a negative emotion from me. I think that most people in this circumstance would have been excessively annoyed or angry that these individuals were being inconsiderate of my time, of our time, and keeping us from reaching our destination, in a safe way. I could have easily chosen to get angry, but instead I chose to sit back and admire their affection for each other. I sat back and I chose to appreciate their love that they were clearly displaying for one another. And it made me think of a time when I had someone that that I was so infatuated with that I just didn't care about the outside world, and that is a great feeling to have. So in this circumstance, we can clearly see how the circumstance could have elicited two types of reactions. One, a reaction of anger, or a reaction of appreciation. And I chose to react by showing appreciation. So I hope that convinces you that your emotions are not the result of external factors, that you are in control of your emotions. You are the giver of your emotions, the creator of your emotions, and the source of your emotions. Now, I would like to make a quick note. I commonly hear people refer to emotions as positive or negative, good or bad. I personally believe that there is no such thing as a negative or a positive or a good or bad emotion. I think that all emotions are neutral and that we, as humans, give the definition to the emotion. But for the sake of this video, I will continue to use these labels, negative and positive, only because we're so used to hearing them. And actually, we mislabel emotions all the time. For example, a lot of people think that anger is a negative emotion. But actually, anger can be a positive emotion. Let's say that there is some type of injustice in your reality. Say that a group of people or an individual is being discriminated against because their sex, their sexual orientation, their age, their race. Being angry at this injustice can inspire change. And in this display of anger, the anger is a positive thing. It is a positive emotion. And in fact, I think as we become better at using our emotions, we will then learn that all emotion, no matter how it feels, is a positive or a good thing. So, what are emotions? Well, they sometimes seem like a nuisance, especially the bad feeling emotions, such as depression or sadness. Well, simply put, emotions are just like everything else that exists in our reality. Emotions are energy that exists on the inside of you, energy that exists in various forms, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes subtle and sometimes very, very intense. Every emotion that is known to man exists right here, right now on the inside of you. Now, certainly you're not consciously aware that every emotion that you could ever feel exists right now. And that's because in order to feel an emotion, you have to first choose it and then intensify it. We do this all the time and in an unconscious way. So why do we have emotions? Well, I am currently aware of two reasons why we have emotions. Reason number one is to help us grow spiritually, and reason number two, to anchor us or to help us change a reality that we no longer need or prefer. Spiritually speaking, your emotions, especially the negative or the bad feeling emotions, help us remove layers or portions of our ego that no longer serves us. See, the whole point of spirituality is to help us get closer to God, to help us be more unified with our soul or our higher self or the source or whatever you call it. That is the purpose of spirituality, to move us or to help us remember who we are and to unify us with the Creator or with God or your soul or your higher self. And in order for us to achieve this, we have to get rid of the ego. And when I am talking or speaking of the ego, I am referring to this false self that, we all create as a result of life, our circumstances, or who people have told us we should be, or who we think we should be. Well, this false self, or the ego, separates us from God. It separates us from the soul. It separates us from our higher self. So it has to be removed. The removal of the ego can be a voluntary process, or it can be an involuntary process. If your soul sees that you are just way off course on what you came into this life to do, your life purpose, your soul will take you through a process commonly referred to as the dark night of the soul. If you've never heard of it, you can Google it and you can get a better understanding of this process. I've been through this process. It wasn't easy, and I have mercy on anyone who goes through something similar. But this was a involuntary thing that my soul put me through, because I guess it saw that I was way off course on what I came into this life to do. And even though the process is something that I would never want to experience ever again, I definitely appreciate it, because I can assure you that the person that I used to be, I never ever want to go back to being that person. I mentioned earlier that the emotions also work by anchoring us into a reality that we prefer, or helping us change or create a reality that we do prefer. Let's say that your current reality is one that you have a relationship that you absolutely approve of. Now, naturally, you will exhibit emotions such as happiness, appreciation, gratitude. These types of emotions help anchor us into those, or the reality that we prefer, a reality with a relationship that we approve of. Now, let's say you have a reality where the relationship, you strongly disapprove of it. Naturally, you would choose to display or to feel emotions such as anger, perhaps depression, anxiety. These types of emotions work to help us change this reality, to either give us the push to end the relationship, or if we are the problem in the relationship, to make the changes within ourselves to bring harmony back into the relationship. So how should we use our emotions? Step number one is absolutely take ownership of your emotions. All of them. The good emotions and the bad emotions, especially the bad emotions. Know that they are your creation. Know that they are your gift. And know that they are here to help you. We must all get better at not being afraid of our emotions. And this, of course, applies to me too. I'm still learning myself. Not being afraid of your emotions, meaning not running from our emotions. If we are feeling excessively bad, let's not do something to try to cover up the emotion, such as, overeating or drinking or doing drugs, or whatever we do to silence the emotion. Because anytime we have an emotion that is very intense, I can assure you that this emotion is here to help us. We just have to know how to use it. And I would like to make a quick side note, if I may. There is nothing inherently wrong with feeling or expressing negative emotions. An emotion like sadness, if you think about it, how would we even know what happiness is if we never experience sadness? See, our reality is one that is based on duality. That means in order for one thing to exist, the other or the opposite has to exist. Such as, up, down, left, right, hot, cold, etc. The opposite always give us perspective or an appreciation for a thing. So if we never experienced fear or hate, it is impossible for us to experience or feel love. So I just want to encourage you, if you sometimes feel yourself feeling negative or bad, not to be too hard on yourself, and to know that all your emotions exist for the sole purpose of helping you. And if you are on a spiritual path or not, we should all make it an effort to become more present with our emotions, the good and the bad feeling emotions. And here's what I do. Whenever I'm feeling really good or feeling really bad, I stop what I'm doing and I find a quiet place and I sit and I meditate on that feeling, for 5 or 10 minutes or however I feel led to do so. As a matter of fact, that just happened to me like a couple of hours ago. I was in a department store, and as I was walking down the aisles, I felt like something really, really good is going to happen to me today. So I immediately found a quiet space in the department store, and I just stood there. I stood still, and I just meditated on the feeling. And you do this without expectation, that something is going to happen or something is going to change. You're just appreciating, or you are acknowledging the feeling or the emotion. I feel that I have benefited a lot for doing this very simple practice. I have become more, emotionally stable. I've definitely feel that I've grown spiritually. I think that I've become more compassionate. And I've also had a lot of psychic activity or phenomena. And I think this is due to the fact that I may be getting closer to my soul or my higher self or God. It actually took me some time, almost a year, to get to the point to where I am now. And I am no expert. I'm still in the beginning or the learning stages of how to be more aware of my emotions. So don't be too hard on yourself if you find it difficult in the beginning. Just make a mental note that if you have an episode where your emotions come and they sweep you away, just say to yourself, well, I'm aware that these emotions are here to help me. The next time I will be more mindful of my emotions. I won't be swept away with my emotion. I will stop and appreciate and meditate on my emotion. And if next time comes and you don't do it, still don't be too hard on yourself. Just make a mental note that the next time I would do the practice. And this is what I did. And eventually I got the hang of it. And I can just say from my personal experience, the more success you have with doing this, the more you will never ever want to go back to being the way you were. You will see the growth. You will know that you're different, that you're better, and you will never ever want to go back to the old you, the old way of being emotionally reckless, I would say. Now, this was just an introduction to emotions. I hope that you guys learned something. If you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to leave a comment, or if it is personal, you can definitely write to me, write an email, and I will get back with you to the best of my ability. And finally, I have received requests for more content. So I am taking this as a sign from God that this is something that I should pursue. That this is something that a lot of people will benefit from. So I am creating an organization and a website that is devoted to healing. We want to make sure that if there's any area in your life that needs healing, it could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be physical, that you guys have the resources readily available to help you, to empower you. I will have this completed within the next 2 months. Right now, I will need extra financial resources. I am asking for $17,000 or more to help complete the remainder of this task. If you are able to help financially, I left a link in the description to where you can donate. Any amount will be greatly appreciated. And if you are unable to donate financially, I accept prayers too. I think prayers are just as awesome and great as physical money. Well, I hope you guys learned something, and I look forward to sharing more about healing with you guys in the future. Thank you for watching. See you next time.